Hey everybody, the Metal here, and I'm going for a walk, decked out in my weights and everything. And last time we talked, I believe we talked about X Dynamis Chaos. I don't know, I haven't even checked my own uploads in a while. They are usually so spaced out because I'm working on stuff on TMTV and stuff. And speaking of X Dynamis Chaos, I just finished episode or chapter 11, so I only have episode 12 left before I start working on art for it, at least one per chapter, and compressing it into an ebook format, as well as obviously super proofreading it. Most of them are still already proofread. I don't want to put up something that isn't proofread to some extent, but there's still got to be errors in it. I'm not that good of a proofreader, at least at first glance. So I have to go back through and make sure there are no issues, is what I call super proofreading, and what an editor does. So, while that's working on, let's talk about another story that I'm doing, since we already discussed the main part of X Dynamis Chaos. So another story I'm writing where I'm also kind of the main character. I've two of those. Only two, for the most part. Obviously, many other characters have influences of me in them as the writer, but those are the only two that I actually consider myself the main character of. And it's called A Hymn of Valor, and this one takes place back in the year 2001, when I was in the 4th grade. So, in A Hymn of Valor, as the name will give away, the main character is a small 4th grade superhero who's been doing this for a couple years, named Valor. And Valor is a general flying brick. Like, it's not like X Dynamis Chaos where you start normal type person and then spiral out of control. This guy, I think within the 3rd episode, already breaks running Mach 20. And he is an anomaly, like many of the other characters that shows up. And Valor has to juggle, well, I don't really write into this because it's not important, but he has to juggle being an elementary school student, like just a kid that age, and being a superhero, but all you really see is the superhero side, because the other stuff is kind of boring. I mean, honestly, what does an elementary kid do? I remember being that age. I did nothing. Boy Scouts, baseball, the regular stuff, it was all boring. So we just skip to the interesting stuff. That's all you care about anyway, right? And he fights all kinds of stuff. The first episode, I have him fighting a mercenary group of former tactical military personnel, one by the name of Jim Warren. Don't know why that name came to me. I just named these characters. So if you happen to have that name, I'm sorry. I really am. And he is trying to get this information from the building, and they go in and they take it, and it's very clean. Everybody's wondering why nobody's stopping them. There's no police or anything. And they're just like, well, clearly you're not from around here. It'd be like, cause I always think that's stupid. Obviously, for like Superman and stuff, if you came from outside of the city, yeah, I could see you not really knowing much about a local hero, but for, like, obviously crime rates would go lower if there was a superhero, because people would be afraid to tangle with somebody who could literally just walk through a wall unfazed and just watch the wall crumble around them. And it kind of frames things up. It's not like, powers are unique to him, even though they're the flying brick set. It's all scientific, entropic field manipulation of thermodynamics and stuff like that. The core principles in which our functioning of the universe relies on, which is what allows him to do what he does. He can heal everything, including his clothes. And it's just a fun little thing, because, it's kind of boring A lot of people say to just watch gods fight. Especially if you're an adult, it can be. But watching a kid do that can always be entertaining, because then, like, as smart and advanced as this kid's brain could be, still only 9 years old, so still makes stupid mistakes. Like knocking the pilot of a helicopter out cold and then having to jump down and catch it, because obviously the pilot can't keep the helicopter flying if he's unconscious. Stuff like that. And but after that, more super beings come into play, and it mostly fights things that actually make him have to try. But then you have, like, people who, like, this is the problem that you've always had with gods fighting each other, basically. Neither of them can kill each other, so one of them has to find some way to outsmart the other one and get them to leave. But I like to put creative twists on them, and I think the thing that's really important about it to me is, even though it's the same type of stuff that you see everywhere, I was really smart for a 4th grader when I wrote these, because these were comics that I made back in elementary school, like little 20-page comics. I'd pass them around the class, people read them, they loved them. And they had these same ideas in them. I was just 9 and had no way of explaining them in words to people, so they seemed kind of childish. But now I'm taking the exact same stories, the exact same concepts and stuff, and slapping them with, like, technical terms and colorful imagery that actually make them somewhat enjoyable to read. So you should go read A Hymn of Valor. I have like 3 episodes up now. I don't write that one as much as the others. It's not going to be as long. I think maybe somewhere between 12 to 18 episodes. I know that sounds like a big gap, but that's how many there's going to be. And it runs just within a few months span of late 2001. So yeah, there's an event that's going to happen in it that you know is going to happen in it. It is covered. Probably get a lot of flack for it, but I don't care. And it's just overall a pretty fun little series. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. Actually, none of my stuff is supposed to be taken seriously. There's some scientific stuff that gets mentioned in there. You can take some of that seriously, but other than that, that's about it. So yeah, and I'm going to try to have X Dynamis Chaos Act 1 finished in entirety in ebook form and stuff before the end of the summer. Hopefully I'll have 12 written and up for people to read before SGC, but I'm kind of tight on time because of other stuff I got to do, so we'll see about that. But definitely before the end of the summer, I want to have the whole thing done. Anyway, I'm the Metal, and I'll catch you later.